Untold Stories of Avaduthas. We would first thank Shri Sai Baba. We have joined together to explain the hidden untold stories of Avaduthas, which have been documented in the 13th century in a text called Sripada Shivallabha Charitramuddam by a great person called Shankar Bhatt, who was instigated by Sripada Shivallabha himself. We have been instigated by our Sadguru Shri Shri Sai Baba to read the contents of the book to his devotees so that the message of Avaduthas reaches the devotees, which will change the reader listener position on the Guru and take him more close to the Gurus. This text contains the hidden secrets of many Avadutas, creation of the universe, histories of many saints, gurus and famous people, and many incidents which have taken place in the recent past. Surprisingly, we can also see the history of our Sadguru Sri Sai Baba, the secret of the manifestation on the earth, and the Leelas which he will be doing, which has been documented in the 13th century. We have tried our best to explain each chapter best of our knowledge. Introduction of the writer of this book. In this world, many troubles and losses will be experienced by human beings through sorrow and infatuation. Who is the protector against them? Who will rescue him from worries and miseries? Paramatma is the only savior. Only through the grace of God all sorrows are destroyed and happiness and peace will be obtained. To obtain that grace, a person should practice Srotram, prayer, Japam, meditation, etc. of God and read devotional and sacred books explaining their significance. Paramatma is in the form of Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. The Trinity protects, punishes or teaches all creatures in the universe. All things happen on account of them. Shankar Bhatt was chosen by Sripada Shivallabha himself to write the Charitramritam. Shankar Bhatt starts his journey to see Lord Krishna at Udupi. As per Lord Krishna's instruction, he went to Kanyakumari to see Lord Kanika Parameshwari. She instructs him to meet Sripada Shivallabha. From here, Shankar Bhatt starts his journey to meet Sripada Shivallabha. He travels 1000s of kilometers by walk, bullock cart, horses and chariot till he reaches Karuvapuram, which is in present near Raichur, Karnataka. During his travel, he meets many people who share the glory of Sripada Shivallabha and also gains many experiences throughout his journey, which are documented in the Charitramritam. Finally, he reaches Karuvapuram, meets Sripada Shivallabha. From then, Sripada Shivallabha guides him to record many secrets of the creation and also has many names referred and the secrets of their previous births. Sripada also tells him about his further manifestation. After Sripada's disappearance from Karuvapuram, he would appear in Shankar Bhatt's dreams in midnights and help him to complete the Charitramritam. Shankar Bhatt continues to live at Karuvapuram and completes the Charitramritam. The original Charitramritam was written on a palm leaf in Sanskrit. When people read and recollect this sacred biography, they will get rid of all worries of worldly existence and be rewarded with the grace of Sri Sripada Shivallabha. As a consequence of that, they will get happiness, peace and equanimity. Let us encourage all relatives, kith and kin and friends to read the book and earn the grace of Sripada Shivallabha. Chapter 1. The Encounter between Shankar Bhatt and Vyagneshwar, Part 1. My salutation to Mahaganadipati Sri Saraswati, the lineage of my preceptors, Sri Krishna Bhagwan and all gods and goddesses. I propose to describe the glory of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha, the latest manifestation of Lord Datta. He is the Lord of innumerable universes. Sri Dattatreya is the oldest and the eternal one. Sri Dattatreya has incarnated in this Kali Yuga as Sri Pada Sri Vallabha in the village of Pitapuram, which is situated in the Godavari region of Andhra Pradesh. It is impossible even for the great scholar to describe the grandeur of his divine flame. I am completely ignorant and illiterate. Therefore, I submit in all humility that my attempt to portray his life history is only on account of his will, divine order and his divine blessings. My name is Shankar Bhatt. I belong to Karnataka Desa. I am from the Samat sect and hail from the Bharadwaj Gotra. I went to the holy town of Udupi on pilgrimage to visit Bhagwan Sri Krishna in his temple. There the infant Krishna with a beautifully colored peacock feather adorning his head gave me his darshan. He ordered me to visit goddess Sri Karnanika Parameshwari in Kanyakumari. At that time, the mother saw me with her benevolent looks and said, Shankara, I am pleased with the sacred devotion in your heart. Go to Kuruvapuram and take the darshan of Sripada Shivallabha and obtain fulfillment of your birth. By the mere darshan of Sripada Shivallabha, an undefinable experience will occur to your mind, Atma and all your organs. Thus I received the grace of Mother Goddess and started from the holy place. On my way, I reached a village called Malai, which was at a short distance from Kanyakumari. I learned that while Hanuman was carrying the Sanjeevani mountain from the Himalayas, a small piece of it had fallen down here and therefore the village is called the Malai. The hill in the village of Malai is beautiful to behold, therefore are some caves in it. I learned that the area is a hilly tract inhabited by Siddha Purushas undertaking penance in an invisible form. I was looking into those caves in the hope of seeing any great person. I was hoping to get lucky by seeing one of them. However, a tiger was standing at the entrance of one cave. At the sight of the tiger, trembling and tremor started in all my limbs. Agitated with great fear, I cried aloud at once, Sripada Shivallabha, Datta Prabhu. In despair, the tiger stood still like a domestic animal. An aged sage emerged from the cave. The entire area of Malai reverberated the name of Sripada Shivallabha all at once. Then the old sage said, My son, you are fulfilled one. Only great Siddhas, great yogis, wise men and Paramhansa who dwell in Nirvikalpasam Samadhi realize that Lord Datta has incarnated a Sripada Shivallabha in this Kali Yuga. You could come here only because you are lucky. This is a land of spiritual pursuit. It is Siddha Bhumi. Your desire will get satisfied. You will certainly be rewarded with the meeting of Sripada. The tiger at the entrance of the cave is Janani. I advise you to salute him. Then I saluted that wise person who was in the form of a tiger. Immediately the tiger roared the sound Om. The whole of Malai resounded with that roaring sound. It had also melodiously sung the prayer Sripada Rajam Sarna Prapadayai was watching this wonderful scene. All the atoms in the form of the tiger disintegrated and a man with lustrous celestial body manifested there. That celestial person paid obeisance to the old sage and flew onto the sky with his luminous body. The old sage who was before me smiled. He invites me into the cave. I entered the cave silently. A stream of compassion was flowing from the eyes of the aged sage. He created fire by the power of his will. He created sacred material, sweets and fruits for offering them as an oblation to the sacred fire. He offered those things into the sacred fire while chanting Vedic hymns. I performed this sacrifice for the welfare of the world. Yagna or yajna means fusion. Fortunately, you have witnessed this sacrifice. As a result of witnessing this sacrifice, you will get the darshan of Sripada Shivallabha, who is an incarnation of Sri Datta. This is very rare fortune. The merit earned in many births will suddenly fructify and give such unattainable fortune. I saluted that great personage and said, Great one among Siddhas, I am not a scholar or a yogi. I am not a devotee. I am an ignoramus. Kindly take complete mercy on me and clear some of my doubts. The old hermit agreed to it. My son, in the Godavari region of Andhra Pradesh, there is an ancient village called Atrepuram, which was famous as a land where sage Atri conducted austerities. In that village, a Brahmin was born in the Gotra of Kayapa in an orthodox family. His parents named him Vyagreshwar Sharma. Even though his father was a great scholar, the son became an incorrigible idiot. This is not good for attend any auspicious and he could not perform the Gayatri Mantra prayer. So he has entreated his parents also. Due to this, he had developed an inferiority complex. He heard those great ascetics live in the Himalayas and by their grace, one can realize knowledge of self.
Once during dawn, he had a dream. In that dream, he saw a celestial body radiating with divine effulgence. That body was descending to the earth from the firmament. As soon as his divine feet touched, the earth was filled with heavenly illumination. That divine child approached Vyageshwara Sarma with slow step and asserted, Why fear when I am here? There is the bondage of debt between me and this village. Without the bondage of indebtedness, even a dog cannot come to us. Go to the Bhadrakarnya in the Himalayan region and you'll be blessed with auspiciousness. Saying so, the celestial disappeared. Vyageshwara Sharma reached Bhadrakarnya. He was eating food on the way without much effort. However, a dog was following him from the beginning of the journey. He was wandering along with the dog in the Bhadrakarnya. In his wanderings, he took a holy bath in the Urvasi Kunda, place where the celestial nymph Urvasi was created by Vishnu. The dog also took a holy bath along with him. At that time, a great sage accompanied by his disciples came to Urvashi Kunda for religious ablutions. Vyageshwara prostrated at the feet of the great personage and prayed to accept him as a disciple. The great person kindly consented.
The dog disappeared immediately when the great one accepted Vyagreshwar as his disciple. The great person awaited Vyagreshwar. The dog which followed you is personification of the merit earned by you in previous births. Goaded by time, you could come here and you could take bath in Urvashi Kunda. You are attracted to the land of penance by Navanarayana. All this the grace of Sripada Shivallabha. Vyagresha Sharma bowed down and asked Master, who is Sripada Shivallabha? How did he grace shower on me? The Siddha replied at length to the questions posed to him. My son, Sripada Shivallabha is Lord Datta himself in Treta Yuga. Bharadwaj Maharshi conducted a huge sacrifice known as Savitrikataka Jainamu in Pitapuram. He invited Shiva and Parvati to that function in Pyamagya Brahmana text. It was mentioned that many great persons, Siddhas and Yogis are born in the lineage of Bharadwaj in accordance with the boon granted by Shiva and Parvati to him. Even though they were lost in other parts of the country. Vyamaka Brahman and Sandra Sindhu Veda were carefully preserved in Shambhala village, the land of the incarnation of Kalki, at the end of Kali Yuga and the beginning of Satyuga. Sripada Shivallabha and incarnation of Sri Datta will arrive in Pitapuram in physical form. Only when the sins give results does devotion to Datta will develop. When devotion to Datta becomes perfect, Sripada Shivallabha will grant the wealth of sight, touch and speech in any age and at any time. As per the meritorious deeds of your past lives are strong. The mercy of Sripada Shivallabha showers on you. I am now leaving for meeting my preceptor Mahavatar Babaji. I will return after 1 year. Practice Kriya Yoga in the caves reserved for you and attempt for the realization of self-knowledge. Thus instructing, the sage left for Dronagiri in the region of Sanjeevani mountain. Vyagreshwar Sharma sat in the cave assigned to him. He could not understand the methods of Kriya Yoga or the preaching on self-knowledge. He was thinking like this: Guruji used to call me lovingly as Vyagra. All my co-disciples are sitting on the skin of a tiger and are meditating. When the skin of a tiger is so sacred and benefits this yogi so much, how much greater the tiger should be. Moreover, Guruji asked me to strive for knowledge of self. Self means myself only. What have I got to do with others? My name is Vyagreshwar Vardu, therefore I should be a tiger only. So I have to meditate upon the tiger only. That is my Atma. If I could get the form of a tiger, it amounts to my attaining self-knowledge. 1 year passed easily. The Guru visited the place. He went to each cave and observed the progress made by his disciples. In their spiritual quest, he could not find Vyagreshwar in his cave. Instead, a tiger was resting in the cave. Sri Guruji analyzed the matter through his yogic insight. He realized that as Vyagreshwar Bandhu meditated intensely upon the form of a Vyagra, he got transformed into a tiger. Guruji felt happy at the pure heart and cleanliness of the self of his disciple. He blessed him and taught him to utter Om. He asked him to constantly repeat the word Sripada Rajam Sarnam Prapadaya as a mantra. Vyagreshwar reached near Kurvapuram in the form of a tiger. To reach Kurvapuram, one has to cross a river. At the time, Sripada Shivallabha was with congregation of his devotees. He suddenly announced, "A great devotee of mine is calling me. I will go and immediately return." Saying so, he began walking on the water in his lustrous body. When Sripada Srivallabha was walking on the water in this manner, a lotus flower was emerging from the water at every spot where he was placing his sacred foot. He arrived at the river bank on the other side and saw Vyagreshwar, who was incessantly chanting the mantra auspicious divine feet of Sripada Shivallabha. Shivallabha mounted on the tiger and crossed the river, floating on the water on the back of the tiger, and reached Kuruvapuram. All the people were witnessing this spectacle in utter astonishment. According to Datta Puran, Sri Dattatreya incarnated as Dharmashastra. When that Lord took birth as the son of Harihara, he arrived at the capital of the kingdom riding on a tiger. Devendra took the form of the tiger and served as a vehicle of Ayyappa Swami or Dharmashastra. Some people were of the opinion that Sri Vallabha was verified Dharmashastra himself. Goddess Amba rides both on a lion and a tiger also. So some people were of the opinion that Sri Vallabha was an inseparable form of the universal mother goddess. The moment Sri Vallabha dismounted from the tiger after reaching Kuruvapuram, the tiger fell dead. A great person with divine brilliance came out of the body of the tiger. He prayed to Sri Vallabha to use the skin of the tiger form of his previous birth as his seat. Sri Charana consented to that. With overflowing love, Sri Vallabha said, "My son Vyagreshwar, in one of your births, you were a very strong wrestler. During that life, you were indulging in all sorts of cruel acts. Those activities include fighting with tigers, injuring them, capturing them, famishing them, and arranging their exhibitions for the recreation of people. On account of the past sinful acts, you are to take animal births in many lives, but with my grace, all that accumulated sin is cancelled in this life of a tiger. As you remain in the form of a tiger for a long time, you can assume that format will at any time. I am granting you this boon. You will meet and obtain the blessings of many siddhas who are carrying out penance in the Himalayas for hundreds of years. May you rise to great heights in the path of yoga." Sripada blessed Vyagreshwar in the above manner. My dear Shankar Bhatt, before the creation there was a first couple. When a wife becomes pregnant, she will have some desires. It is the duty of the husband to fulfill her desires. When Shravani became pregnant, Parameshwaran asked her if she had any desire. Then Shravani said, "Lord, I experience all pleasures having the body of a female. I do not know how the experience would be when having a male body. Hence, please oblige me." Parameshwara said, "Let it be so." Immediately Shravani took the form of a male. That was the form of a Mahavishnu. There was no way for the baby inside her to come out. Then a lotus sprouted from the umbilicus of Mahavishnu. From the lotus Brahma was born and started creation. Sri Mahavishnu created the form of Shravani again from his body. The secrets of gods and their place are unthinkable. In this way, Sri Mahavishnu and Parvati became brother and sister. On the full moon day in the month of Shravana, manifesting in avatars with your Vishnu Maya to kill demons, the saying by Mangalam. Brother, let this practice of tying Rakhi remain forever as a symbol of love between brother and sister. Sri Mahavishnu said Tathastu. In accordance with this pledge only, when there was trouble from Basasura, Sri Vishnu took the form of Mohini and annihilated him. Vishnu Maya is unthinkable. It is difficult to guess that it would be like this or that. Dharmashashtra was born to Mohini and Shankara. After Dharmashashtra was born, Mohini disappeared. Dharmashashtra later took the avatar of Ayyappa Swami in Kali Yuga. Parvati Devi and tied Rakhi to Sri Mahavishnu and said, "Brother, Sri Bhola Shankar grants boons to everyone without thinking about propriety and feasibility. There is a divine secret in this. Dharmashastra is none other than Sri Mahavishnu. In that form, Brahma and Rudra also merge with Sri Mahavishnu. So we can say that it is Lord Dattatreya with those three forms merging. When Parameshwari manifested as the daughter of Pandya Bhopala, with the name of Meenakshi. Parmeshwar manifested himself as Sundreshwar, but when Parmeshwari manifested herself as Sri Kaneka Parmeshwari, the marriage did not take place, but the Sripada Srivallabha manifestation is beyond place and time. Srivallabha manifested himself in Pitapuram in Kali Yuga, but that same form of Srivallabha was there from the very beginning of creation in divine luminous worlds. The divine place of Sripada for 30 years from 1320 AD when he was born in Pitikapuram till 1350 AD when he disappeared in Karvapuram cannot be comprehended even by the seven rishis. How can we understand? I question Swami, we are now in 1336 AD. Will that mean that Sri Vallabha will remain on earth for the next 14 years only? Will he and his avatar so early? Sadguru Dev said, my dear, if Sri Vallabha is born, then there will be retreat. However, his play has no birth or death. He is not affected by time and place. Divine message from this Leela. Sadguru decides who has to do what and draws him towards him and gets his work done like Shankar Bhatt, who does not know who Sri Vallabha was, but he writes his Charitramatam. Hence, we should have devotion and dedication to the Guru. One should keep his mind open and should be hungry for knowledge. One should have willpower to overcome deficiency and try find a way out like Vyagreshwar Sharma come out of his depression and takes effort to go to Himalayas and become immortal. One should have dedication and trust on the Guru to achieve the goal like Vyagreshwar Sharma. If our dedication towards our Guru is strong, our Sadguru will guide us and remove all the past karmas based on the good karmas we do and reuse the bad effect of the karmas.